Yo, about that time. Story time again. Y'all already know I got the store up. I got so many life stories, boy. Y'all gonna hear them all. Yeah. But this story right here is about the time a Leon County Sheriff officer, like, he really tried to make up a reason to take me to jail, but he ain't had no reason, and he got snapped on, so he ended up giving me a ticket. I'm talking about the way he did the ticket was, like, basically, like, it was gonna, like, lose me in the system. I was gonna be jailed up with a warrant and stuff, not be able to like fix it and stuff like that. But in the end, I got him suspended. This is how it started. One morning, my girlfriend during the time, she was a lawyer and she had two kids. So I'm driving her car. She's in the passenger seat, her two kids in the back. We driving and dropped them off in Midway to the babysitter house. So as we driving and stuff, so I took the back roads and stuff to get to the Interstate I-10. So the back road I took right before you get to the interstate is across the street from the stop sign. So I pull up to the stop sign. Like I said, across the street is the Interstate I-10 where you hop on, head to Midway, we drop the kids off to the babysitter. So at the stop sign is a car in front of me, and it's like two old people driving. So y'all know how old people be. They be sitting at the stop sign, it be clear. So I'm just sitting there. Ain't nothing coming, they just sitting there. So I'm like, I blow my horn, they just still sit there. So I'm like, So I go around them and stuff like that. Because like I said, the interstate right there, so I go around them and stuff across the median and stuff. But what I didn't know, it was a share car right behind me, and I didn't know it. So once I went around them, I heard, where? I turned around, I'm like, oh man, Sheriff was behind me the whole time. Like, dang. But that was a real reason to pull me over though. So I pulled over. So when I pulled over and stuff, this white sheriff officer, like, he comes to the car, basically like almost screaming. Yo, man, I tried to take you, man, I tried to stop you way back there, but you kept going. I could take you in for evasion. I'm like, huh? I'm like, you turned your lights on right there when I went around that car. He's like, I could take you in for evasion. Man. Just a minute, man. Your license not valid. I'm like, huh? I'm like, my license is valid. And during this time, I still had my Alabama license. Like, even though I had been living in Florida for years, like, it was years before I even switched my Alabama license to a Florida license. So I feel like the police usually like getting their feelings when they'll stop me and I still have my Alabama license, because Florida has no power over Alabama licenses. A lot of people don't know that. That means if you got a ticket and you don't pay it, Florida still can't suspend your license. But anyway, so he like going off and stuff. So I'm just looking at him. And my girlfriend during the time, she in the passenger seat, and she was in the mirror, like, fixing her hair and stuff like that. He just kept going on. I'm just looking at her, and she was like, if you gonna write a ticket, write the ticket. And then he stopped, and he looked, then he went back to the car or whatever and stuff like that. And I knew he was just trying to make up a fake reason to take me to jail because another sheriff car pulled up behind us. So I'm like, bro, I ain't do nothing. My license valid. So he come back with a ticket, whatever, and stuff like that. I ain't gonna read over the ticket. I just signed whatever and stuff, and got on. So when it dropped the kids out to the babysitter, whatever. So about a day or two later, so I called the courthouse because I'm gonna challenge the ticket, like I said. And then I really didn't look at the ticket anyway, but I'm gonna just challenge it. So I called the courthouse and stuff like that. So I'm like, hey, I was calling because I had got a ticket, and I was calling because I was gonna challenge it, this and that, because you're supposed to call the courthouse or go up there and let them know that you're gonna challenge it, so they'll give you a date. So I called them, they're like, what's your name? This and that. You don't have no ticket in the system? I like, huh? I like, I just got a ticket like yesterday, the other day, like from a sheriff. Like, he gave me a ticket, like a Spain ticket or something. Or whatever. They're like, oh, you ain't got no ticket in the system, this and that, this and that. So I'm like, huh? I'm like, okay. Like, the typical person and stuff, they'll be like, oh, they ain't got no ticket for me. Oh, yeah, I'm straight, this, that. But me, knowing how I think, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm gonna go get that ticket. So I went to Old Guard car and found the ticket. And this is when I actually looked at the ticket. So when I looked at the ticket, it was a speeding ticket. But for the speed, he ain't put nothing. But he had my name right and my driver's license number right. But for the address, man, this man had put an address I had never seen before. Like, honest to God, true, on my license, like I said, was my Alabama address. And he ain't asked me for my Tallahassee address. He just made up a, like, fake address or whatever. And then I did notice, though, for the license part, like my name, my driver's license number, he ain't put what state or whatever. So I'm like, So I like, okay. So got the ticket. So I went back up to the courthouse. I like, hey, I called up here. Y'all said I ain't had no ticket. Here go the ticket right here. Then they all start looking stupid. So I'm like, I feel like, man, it's like a conspiracy or something, dog. Like, so like, we sorry about this, that. So give me a date, whatever, to fight the ticket, whatever, this, that. So time go on. The date come for me to go to court to fight the ticket. I ain't paying for no lawyer. Like I said, and I don't need no public defender. Like, I can handle it myself. So we go and stuff like that. We're in the courtroom and stuff. So finally the judge called my name and stuff. So I walked to the podium with my ticket. So I said, hi, Judge. I said, Leon County Sheriff, he gave me a speeding ticket or whatever, but there's no speed on here. My name right, my driver license number right, but he didn't put which state my driver license was in. And for the address, I never seen this address before in my life. Like, honest God, true, I never seen this address before. Like, so I don't know where he got this address from or whatever. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna find that ticket. I still got it too. But I was like, yeah, I don't know where this came from. But the most weirdest thing about it is, while I'm telling the judge this, the clerk of court who sits next to the judge, who never says nothing, just sit there and just type or whatever, take notes, she busts out, oh, I heard about that. Oh, I got the right ticket right here. Everybody like, what? That was everybody like, huh? So I was like, what? I was like, Judge, like I said, like, this ticket right here, I don't know what the Leon Sheriff had going on with her, but like it's stuff. So so I paid the judge the ticket. I gave it to the sheriff, and so he take it to the judge. So I'm still talking like, yeah, like this, that. Oh, I think it was racism. And then when I said that to the sheriff, I was like, oh, hold on. She gonna get a situation. So basically though, I ain't gonna lie, the judge, like, she was real though. So like, man, she looked, so she got my ticket and she got the ticket from the clerk of court. And she looked at both of them. She looked at my ticket. She looked at the clerk of court ticket. She looked at my ticket. She looked at the clerk of court ticket. Dismiss. Exactly. So, like I said, and then like everybody in the courtroom like, bro, what just happened? Even me, I'm like, what just happened? But I knew I was gonna win, but it's still kind of like, man, it's weird. Like the clerk of court talking about she got the right ticket or whatever and stuff. Then the police officer didn't even show up at the hearing. So after that, you know what I did? I filed a whole complaint. I ain't gonna lie, I filed complaints every time the police stopped me for no reason down here. So I got a whole list. So it's on internet. So if anything ever happened to me, I got a whole list, and they detailed too. But anyway, so I make a detailed complaint or whatever and stuff like that. This and that time go on. So one day my mama called me. My mom live in Alabama. She called me. She was like, "You got into it with the police?" I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "What you talking about?" She like, "I got a letter with your name on it that said the sheriff had been suspended for like 72 hours. This, that. Like, what happened?" I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Why they sent it to your crib?" Like, that would throw me out too or whatever and stuff like that. Cause like I said, like I'm talking about, I mean, I'm pretty sure I had the Tallahassee address in the file, like in the courthouse, whatever, but they sent it to Birmingham. But it was funny though, so my mom like, "Oh, we're going." I'm like, "Mom, I'm okay, Mom." Yeah, but long story short though, like, yeah, that's the story though, like honestly, like these small towns, man, y'all really gotta watch out, bro. Cause like at the end of the day, everything ain't what it seems and stuff like that. And we oftentimes put our faith in the system and stuff, but you always gotta have a backup plan, bro. And you always gotta do research. And if you don't know certain stuff, don't be afraid to ask certain people and stuff like that. Because think about this. If I had never found that ticket, like I said, the courthouse saying I ain't got no ticket in the system. So if I had never found the physical copy of that ticket, it's gonna say I ain't got no ticket in the system, but eventually I'm gonna have a warrant. And then like I said though, the average typical person, oh, they said I ain't got no ticket in the system, it's all good, this, that. But what it was, the way the sheriff filled that ticket out, he filled it out where they wouldn't be able to like find it in the system because they didn't do it correctly. But at the end of the day, once a certain amount of days would have passed by, I would have had a warrant. And then but I would forever have a warrant and not know like how can I get this warrant off and stuff like that, this, that. But y'all saying I ain't got no ticket. So I've been lost in the system. Police been trying me all the time, this, that. But hey, I'm from West End though, dog. Like, can't try me like that, dog. And better believe I got many more stories too about stuff like this in Tallahassee because I done beat 2 speeding tickets. Like, I done beat other stuff. And it's like I said, but another typical person, they would just be like, oh, this, that. Then they'll been over for them. Y'all ain't been lose me in the system. Yeah. But yeah, about that time. Another story time. See y'all in the future.